Hi there, it's Liz Yuille from Old Stables Crafts. Thank you very much for joining me again today. Today I have this teeny weeny little project for you. It's a little gift bag box. Don't know quite what you'd call it. And it is teeny weeny because it only uses a piece of 6x6 designer series paper, and I've used the Broadway designer series paper for this one. Let me just check that name. One day I will remember all the names, but at the moment they're new for us as well. Yes, Broadway Bound Specialty Designer Series paper. It's specialty because it is this card weight, and it's a little dinky little bag box with a bit of stamping and punching, and then a ribbon just to tie it all together. So I'm going to use the Share What You Love bundle paper this time, which again is this same kind of card weight. I'm going to use the pattern side as the outside. So let's get started. I'm going to bring in my scoreboard, and can you see the top? Yes. So, of course the scoring tool would always be a classic idea. So we are going to score at, this is where I have to make sure I get these in the right order. So 1/2 inch, 1 1/4 inches, 3 1/4 inches, and 4 inches. Then we're going to turn it over whilst it's still in this. So let's start again. I've got the pattern going up. I'm going to accept that at various points it's going to be going down, but we are covering that up. But turning it over and keeping it still at the top, I'm going to score at 2 3/8 of an inch. And I'm going to come all the way down. We don't actually need it all the way down, but it's fine. And 5 1/8 of an inch. And then, so that we've got the pattern, the bottom of the pattern at this side, we are going to score at 3/4 of an inch and 3 3/4 of an inch. Happily, you will know that all the dimensions will be over on my blog, and that the post for that is linked immediately below here in the description bar, so it's all terribly easy. You don't have to remember anything. So we're going to burnish our score lines before we then cut some stuff away. Now, as ever, for me, you fold towards the mountain. So where we've scored on this side, we're folding towards the inside. And then where we've scored the back, we're going to just gently fold that. And we really only care about this bit here. We don't care too much about the bit at the bottom, and we certainly don't care about the bit at the top because that's going to disappear. So, having done all of that, we get our snips, and there's this piece here that is 2 inches wide and is on an edge. That's going to become our flap. So, I'm actually going to do this from this side because hopefully you'll be able to see better. I'm going to cut straight down that score line. Well, I say straight down the score line. I'm going to cut straight down with the score line to the other side of the flap that we're keeping. And then again, I'm going to cut, effectively I'm cutting that score line away, and everything that is the other side of the score line goes as well. So there we go. So we end up with that interesting shape. And then I'm going to, this is going to be the seam for the back, so that we need to wedge. And then again, I'm going to wedge there and there. And then I'm going to cut straight up the longer pieces and then wedge out on the little bit on these sort of squares. Well, they are exactly squares. They're not sort of squares. They are exactly squares because they're 3/4 of an inch by 3/4 of an inch. So I'm basically wedging out the score line. So we end up with something that looks like that. So these are straight and these little bits are wedged in. Then at this point I'm going to do my punching. So I'm going to take the Scallop tag topper punch, which is 2 inches wide, which is why I've cut everything at 2 inches, and I'm just going to put that straight in and punch, and that gets our nice top. And then we can get rid of those bits into my little bin. Right, now tear and tape. So I need tear and tape, and I know it's called tear and tape, but I'm going to cut it because I want a neat edge. I'm going to put tear and tape along the seam of our overlap flap, so there, and then that's going to come round there like that. This piece folds back and becomes the outside, so that is where we put our next piece of tear and tape, because this is the front, in effect the front of the box, which hopefully will become clear when I've done it all. So I'm just going to burnish that down with my bone folder so that I know that the tape is stuck properly. Right, so first things first, we take the cover off there, fold that in along that edge there, and then fold that over, and because it is a box and therefore symmetrical, bag box, because it's symmetrical we can just lay that straight over and we get it beautifully lined up. Then tuck in our ends and remove, probably a piercing tool is a better idea. No, that's a pen. You know when you know you've got a piercing tool on your desk and you can't see it for love or money? I've buried it. Okay, fingernails are great for this as well. So just remove that with my fingernails and fold that up. And then this all folds over to form our box. Now I know the flowers are going down, but we're going to cover it up so it doesn't matter. It's all going to be fine. Now if you want, this is quite stiff, so you can add an extra score line there, and if you do that, what I would suggest you do is bring back in your score board and you line that up and you just score at the 2-inch mark, and I know this is the wrong way up, so we'll do it that way up. So we just line up and score at the 2-inch mark, and then that will give us a little gusset at the top. So it's not really a lid, it just gives us a little more give on the top of the bag. Right, it's not technically the right colour. This is powder pink and the pink in here is petal pink, but it's quite a good match anyway, so I'm going to use this. And the powder pink ribbon is, well, there is no powder pink ribbon, so I'm using petal pink. I could use the rich raspberry velvet, but for this it's a little bulky, and I'm just looking at what other colours I've got that I could use. I could use the tulle, but I wanted a colour, and I like this ribbon. It's just really pretty. I can't remember what they call it. I'm going to have to get all these names in my head. Ruffled, mini ruffled ribbon. What else could we have used? No, we could have used the very narrow old olive, because there's old olive in here. But that's, yeah. So this is fine. This is absolutely fine. It's not a bad match. What else have we got? Grapefruit Grove, but that's narrow. Yep, no, unless we went white, which, yeah, as I say, I wanted colour, so it's fine. It's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Sorry, I'm dithering now. It ties a really nice bow, this ribbon, as well. So that, in my mind, that's a really good reason to use it. So there we are. Right, so I told you we were going to cover that up, so let's cover it up. I've got the Detailed with Love stamp set, and I'm going to use this little thank you, and I'm just going to use that in black because there is black in the paper anyway. So ink that up nicely and just pop it in the corner of a scrap of Whisper White. Cover that up, and then I'm going to take my 1 1/4 inch circle punch, and it just fits. Punch that out, and then we could actually use that, couldn't we? I was going to bring in the Rich Razzleberry card, but why don't we use this? Because we've got a scrap anyway that is the inside, so we'll just punch that, and this is the 1 3/8 scallop circle punch. So a couple of dimensionals, one on there, and I'll just line that up so that it's going sort of in the same direction as the lines on the piece of pattern paper, and then pop that on the back, and then that all pops there, which covers up the fact that we're going in the wrong direction. So there we are. It's as if I'd planned it. So that's the original. I need to pop the ribbon back on, and that's the one we've just made together. I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you want to buy any of the products, then please, either there's a link in my social media links, which are below, or pop over to my blog, which is linked immediately below in the description bar, and you can buy everything that you want from there. Thank you very much indeed for watching. If you don't already subscribe to my YouTube channel, please do subscribe. It's in the bottom right hand corner, and over on my blog you can subscribe to my blog posts either by email, by email, and you can also sign up to my newsletter. So yeah, that's all good stuff. Thank you very much indeed, and I'll see you again soon.